Hey everyone, Susan Choi with the Food Institute here. It is a real pleasure to be here at the John Deere booth here at CES, and I'm here with 𝗟𝗲𝘁. Thank you, Joel, for being here with us. Tell us, what do you do for John Deere?
So I'm the Director of Production Precision Ag Marketing at John Deere, which basically means in North America I have everything that's big, green, and yellow, and technology enabled.
And that green and yellow, that is recognized by anyone, even within or without the farm industry. And we all know as well, you guys have always made a big presence. You guys have seemed to dominate when it comes to ag tech, making a great presence at CES. You've won numerous awards from the show itself. Do you want to start walking us through what latest innovations do you have for us this year?
You bet. So we're here this year talking about really advocating for the industries that we represent. So agriculture certainly front and center, as well as construction and road building. So what we've got in this booth is essentially the ability to walk through a complete production system on how food is produced. In this case, we're going to highlight some cotton and see how we can track cotton from the time the seed goes into the ground and comes all the way out and becomes a shirt that I'm wearing actually today. It's great to educate people about what's going on in agriculture. When you think about the challenges we have in agriculture, the population of the world today is around 8 billion. It's going to be 10 billion in a few years. And to feed that population, we've got to increase the food production by 50%. And that gives you a reason to get up in the morning, gives our employees a reason to get up in the morning. It gives us a great opportunity to recruit people, smart people that attend a show like this, because they want to get up and be part of something that's in the market today. Everything that we're going to talk about today is real. It's not a concept, it's not a prototype, it is stuff that's in the market that growers are using today. And I'm going to start here with this, what I'm going to call a prepare step. So before we put the seed in the ground to grow the plant, we have to prepare the soil. And so in this case, we're going to take a look at a tractor that's operating in Austin, Texas at our farm, our test farm, nearly 1,500 miles away.
It's working right now.
It is running right now.
Wow.
That's live feed. And we're actually, if you could help us here, we're going to show you and let you control that tractor from the cell phone.
Wow, okay. Really? Right now?
You're going to be able to control it.
Yeah.
So if you,
So you can see right now it's actually just operating, and you can see where it is on the map.
Okay.
And so if you were a farmer, right, and you're moving around, managing people on other fields, you want to be able to still stay connected to your machine when you're holding your hand. So you can pause it, you can look at the camera feeds, and you can also adjust the speed.
Okay.
Farmers do that today because that helps them maintain job quality, make sure that you get the best finish as you take that tool through the ground.
Wow, so if I press pause,
you're gonna see, hold on, let's just give it a, okay.
Oh, and then it stopped.
So this machine can interface with your phone as well as your computer. There's no one required to be in the vicinity. You could have as many of these operating at one time as you'd like. There's essentially no remote control even. It has its own perception system. And this is an average to smaller size planter for North America. But this has millions of seeds that are in these tanks above us, and it moves those seeds into these individual row units, and it places the seeds in a prepared trench, if you will, or a trough, and ensures that the spacing and orientation is appropriate to ensure that as the crop comes out of the ground, we have uniform emergence. Okay? Now, everything that I'm talking you through here today, it all gets documented inside of Operations Center. And I'm just going to give you a quick example here of what's happening and kind of a cartoon view of these production steps. We just talked about at the last stop the fully autonomous tillage capability to prepare the soil. Right now we're talking about applying seeds at different populations. In a minute we'll go talk about nurturing and caring for those seeds, and then eventually we'll talk about the scorecard, the harvest. What do you get at the end of the day? So right here we can have a variety of seed populations, and because our machines all understand where they are, because they drive themselves, they have the capability to execute geospatial prescriptions on populations of seeds across that geography. And I'm going to show you an actual new technology over here that we introduced this past year. So furrow vision is essentially the ability to leverage that same row unit that we talked about over there and take the eyes of the farmer down into the planter just above the soil. We have a camera that's mounted in here that looks at that trench and that seed orientation. Here you can see my hand looking at it. And this green laser models that trench and determines the depth of the placement of the seed. This is just the beginning of the foundation for the automation of this entire row unit capability. because before we can go to a fully autonomous application like we just looked at, you have to automate everything inside of it. So people talk, they get automation and autonomy confused a little bit. You have to have full automation before you can go to autonomy, because a farmer won't accept a lower substandard job being done on their farm. So this is our See and Spray station, and this is a technology that's been in the market for a couple of years now. We've highlighted it at CES several times. This is an absolute industry game changer. One of the most exciting things that I've been part of. So what you have here is a section of a carbon fiber boom that's on a sprayer. So you think about a sprayer going through the field with big long arms on the side. This is a section of that. It's made of carbon fiber. This is generally 120 feet wide, and it's going through the field at 15 miles an hour. And what we do is we look at the plants and the soil, and we identify what's a weed and what's a plant. And so this machine has the ability to use computer vision and machine learning to see that, make a decision, and then apply chemicals through these nozzles at the bottom only to the weeds. And it can see these weeds within the size of your pinky finger.
Wow.
If you think about a human eye capabilities, at 120 feet wide and 15 miles an hour, something that you could never accomplish. So we have these cameras up at the top that view that, processors on board that make a decision, and then the nozzles down here that apply the chemical only to the weeds. We save around 2/3 of the chemicals for a farmer. And I'll give you an example of that and the data that comes off board of this machine. So this is the data that would be pushed to our cloud-based platform, John Deere Operations Center. And here you can see a weed pressure map. And this is just showing you that 90% of the field surface does not have weeds on it. The green is no weeds. The other colors are where we have weed pressure. Down here below is what we call as applied. So this is what you did in the field with the sprayer. You can see 74% of the area was not sprayed. So why wasn't it 96? Because there's a buffer zone that happens around that weed, just to make sure there's not any escapes that come from underneath the soil that are still part of that weed. So we essentially have saved 74% of the chemical that would have went on this land, which makes the farmer more money. It makes his land more sustainable, right? But everyone wants to reduce chemical use. So it's a absolutely amazing product. It's very tangible results. We're having tremendous adoption in the field today, and farmers are loving this technology. So this is our harvest station, and this is actually a visual graphic of a cotton picker. These are made in Des Moines, Iowa, and they're shipped all over the world. And here you can see cotton plants moving into this machine. It picks the cotton off of the plant and really vacuums it up into the machine, compresses it, and rolls it into a round cotton bale. An example of that bale is over here on the left. It's a smaller version of it. Generally, a normal bale would be about 8 feet wide and 5,500 pounds. So we're talking about very large cotton bales. I want to walk you over to it so you can feel it. This has come right out of the field. This machine assembles these modules or these bales and never stops moving. It transitions that one bale out and creates another. And it puts an RFID tag inside the wrap of the bale. And so when we do that, it allows us to do a lot of things to understand how that cotton's quality is performing, how the yield occurred in the field, as well as track that cotton through the rest of the supply chain. Now what happens is that cotton goes to the cotton gin. And the seed that we felt in that other side when we put our hands on the module is processed out of the cotton. And this seed can be used for livestock feed. It's very high in protein. It can be used for biofuels. But at the end of the day, we end up with this high quality cotton bale that can be used to produce clothing. And next to us here is actually Bridgeforth Farms out of Alabama. And the clothing that you see hanging on the racks there, and actually the shirt that I'm wearing right now, came from their farm.
Oh, amazing.
So when you think about your ability to understand that, and then your ability to improve it, optimize it. You know, the average farmer today is like 55 years old. They generally farm about 40 years of their life. And in the past, those 40 years have been individual experiments that they didn't have any real easy way to document or automate or experiment on the side or model. Now with the data enablement and all of this data moving to an off-board platform, we're able to enable them to do that and to optimize their business in a way they never had the capability to do before.
Improving quality of life, like you said, sustainability, forward thinking, basically advocating for the farmer community. Joel, thank you so much for joining me, for joining the Food Institute. It's been wonderful.
Absolutely. Thank
you.